This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for May 19, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, jerk chicken vendor denied a bail on robbery and gun charges. A jerk chicken vendor who is facing robbery charges from an incident in St. Elizabeth last month was denied a bail when he appeared in the parish court on Wednesday. Sean Reed, also known as Romario Shaw of Newport in Manchester, is scheduled to return to court on June 9. He is charged with robbery with aggravation, possession of illegal weapon, and using an illegal weapon to commit an offense. It is reported that on April 6, Reed and the 3 accomplices robbed a supermarket supervisor of his licensed firearm. They then attempted to gain access to a Western Union outlet inside the supermarket, but were unsuccessful. Reed was arrested after he turned up at hospital with a bullet wound to the foot. He was later positively identified. In court Wednesday, it was disclosed that at the time of the St. Elizabeth robbery, Reed was on bail for robbery and firearm charges in Manchester. He is scheduled to appear in the Manchester Circuit Court on May 25 in relation to those charges. Retired U.S. Army officer to stand a trial for fatal shooting in Portland. The retired U.S. Army officer charged for the shooting death of a man in Buff Bay, Portland last year has been ordered to stand a trial for murder before the Portland Circuit Court. Emily Lee Tracy, a 45-year-old resident of Florida, was on Thursday committed to stand a trial for the murder of 43-year-old Craig Sr. following a committal hearing before the Portland Parish Court. The presiding judge, Nicole Kellier, ruled that a prima facie case had been made out against the American. He is scheduled to appear in the Portland Circuit Court on June 5. Prosecutors say Mr. Sr., a resident of Woodstock Heights, Buff Bay, was shot dead in front of his wife on Sunday, October 9. Investigators reported that Mr. Sr. was at home with his wife and daughter when the retired soldier drove up to the yard and called out his wife. Mr. Sr.'s wife went to the gate and told him to leave. This led to a heated argument between the two. Mr. Sr. intervened and confronted the American about his presence at his home. It is alleged that the American pulled a firearm and shot Mr. Sr. in the abdomen. Warmington disappointed with pace and quality of St. Thomas Road work. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington, has questioned whether the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project in St. Thomas will meet its August completion deadline. Mr. Warmington raised the concern following a tour of roads in eastern St. Thomas on Thursday. Having got a first-hand experience, Mr. Warmington expressed disappointment at the progress of works and apologized to residents of St. Thomas for the inconveniences caused during the project.
My greatest disappointment is coming through Yalas itself. It's a damn disgrace. It's totally unacceptable what I'm seeing there. And it appears that nothing is being done. I'm not satisfied at all with anything from the Yalas Bridge right through to where I'm at right now with the subcontractors. There's not one single piece of work that I can say I'm satisfied with. This caused me to appreciate the concern of the people in St. Thomas, their disgust, their outcry over this period. I've heard it before, but I have an experience this morning. It caused me to appreciate that great concern that they have. The condition of the road should never have been in the condition that it is right now. And it makes me wonder whether or not we can ever reach the August 2023 completion period. And this is basically, as I said before, rest on the shoulders of the local contractors. NWA can gives its position, its instruction, or what have you, but unless CHEC takes the initiative or do what is necessary to get their subcontractors to perform, there's nothing the government or NWA can do. And this is why we're in the position. At the outset, the reason for this is that the government believes that we should have the inclusion of local contractors in these projects. But as I said last week, was this wise? Was it a wise decision?
Alleged Manchester robbers again remanded. 5 men, including a former member of the Jamaica Defense Force, who were charged with breaking and entering, were remanded in custody when they appeared before the Manchester Parish Court on Thursday. The accused are Hugh Foster, Romaine Smith, Odian Forbes, Elvis McIntosh, and Corey Simpson, all of Manchester addresses. A sixth man, Queen Foster, was not present in court on Thursday. His reason for being absent was not disclosed. According to prosecutors, the antecedent reports in the case remain outstanding but should be completed in 2 weeks. The men are expected to return to court on June 7. They are charged in relation to an April 15 break-in at a bar in Botop Square in Colleyville District, Christiana, Manchester. The men were denied bail at their last court hearing after the court was told that at least 2 of them had other matters before the court and the others had been wanted for previous incidents of break-ins and robberies. The prosecutor also stated that the police reported that since the men have been in custody, there have been no reports of break-ins in the area. Prime Minister asserts higher salaries will put politicians under pressure to perform. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the salary adjustments announced for the political directorate under the new public sector compensation regime, there will be greater interest in the political field. Everyone who is occupying a political office ought to be thinking very carefully that I need to increase my political performance because there are many young people out there now who have started to look at entering the political field with higher educational qualifications, higher skill level, and higher competencies, he said. The Prime Minister was speaking at a floral tribute ceremony to mark the 100th anniversary of the late former Prime Minister Hugh Lawson Shearer's birth on May 18 at the National Heroes Park in Kingston. You are going to see, as a result of this increase, an improvement in the level of entrants coming into the political field. You're also going to see an improvement in the existing occupants of the post because they have to now step up their game, Holness said. The Prime Minister reiterated the government's stance that the adjustments are necessary to attract and retain talent. We continue to lose the potential that this country produces every year because the wage level is low. This administration recognized that, and we have taken a decision to increase by over $100 billion the wage bill, and everybody is lifted, Holness noted. The Prime Minister said that Cabinet organized over how to conduct the compensation review. It is not yesterday that the country, including those who are critical, have been calling for a compensation review. We know and respect the sensitivities over salaries, Holness said. We sat in the Cabinet and we organized whether or not we should even take any increase. We organized over it. It's not something that we took lightly because we know that there are persons who will try to make a political fodder over it, he added. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister emphasized that there is need for a new parliament building. We need a new parliament. A country like Jamaica, we don't have a parliament that we can all be proud of. If you try to build one, you are going to hear, well, you could have used the money to build a primary school, ignoring the importance of ensuring that the core engine of your government can work efficiently. It is through that you get greater deliberation and policies, you get greater oversight of policies, and you get greater effectiveness, Holness said. Holness said his administration has taken on several national changing activities. We have taken on crime, massive investment in the police force. We are so proud of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to see what they are doing and the transformation that is happening. We are taking on education, we are taking on order in public places, and we are taking on constitutional reform, the Prime Minister added. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.